Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening. A very warm welcome to yet another masterclass in the series of Tally Presents Mera Business Meri Pehchaan, partnered by ET Now in association with yours truly, Rajiv Talreja. The idea and initiative of Tally, and they're doing this purely because they believe that the small and medium business owners of India are the true heroes of our economy. These are the people who create jobs. These are the people who create products or services that enhance the quality of lives of the customers. And these are the people who are the highest taxpayers of the country. So what we want to do is we want to serve and support small and medium business owners through this initiative that is brought to you by Tally, which is Mera Business Meri Pehchaan. And in our series of masterclasses, this is our second masterclass. We have one more after this. So I want to welcome all of you on behalf of Tally, on behalf of ET Now, and behalf of myself. My name is Rajiv Talreja, and I'm going to be your facilitator for the next couple of hours on the topic of customer management mastery. Now, while we have this conversation around customer management today, I want to break down for you what is the objective of today's masterclass. The objective of today's masterclass is to help you understand how to design and develop a customer management process which makes your customer smile and which makes you smile. Now, what do I mean by smile here? As you can see, the word smile is having few dots in between. So it's an acronym. It's not really just smiling, but it's an acronym. So let me break down for you what this acronym of SMILE actually means. What we want to do today is this. As you learn how to design and develop a customer management process which makes you and the customer smile, for us, S in customer management stands for seamlessness. How many of you agree that you need to design a process of customer management which is seamless, which is flawless, where there is no confusion, where there's no chaos? If you agree, type out agree in the chat box. So the customer management process needs to be very, very seamless for you and for the customer. Secondly, anything that you do with the customer, any point of interaction you have with the customer, it should be a meaningful interaction. Today, we live in a day and age where customers don't want to be disturbed, where customers don't want to be interrupted. So every touch point that you have with the customer needs to have an outcome, needs to have a meaning. If you agree, type out agree in the chat box. And while you're creating a customer management process which is seamless and meaningful, it has to be interactive. It has to be a two-way communication. It's not just about the business communicating to the customer. It's also about the business allowing the customer to express themselves so the business gets a deeper understanding about the needs, desires, and problems of the customer. So the customer management process has to be a two-way communication, interactive process. And next, the customer management process needs to give you learning insights. As a business, every time you interact with a customer, you need to learn something deeper about the customer, which allows you to enhance the experience for the customer. How many of you agree? Customer management is an ever-evolving science and it requires continuous improvement. If you agree, type out agree in the chat box. And lastly, while the customer management process needs to be seamless, meaningful, interactive, and learning driven, it has to be efficient. It cannot be redundant. It cannot complicate things. It has to simplify things and amplify the results for both you and the customer. So ladies and gentlemen, how many of you would be interested in learning how to design and develop a customer management process that makes you and the customer smile? If you would, type out me in the chat box. Type out me in the chat box. Wonderful. Now, how are we going to help you accomplish this objective of designing a customer management process where you and the customer will smile? Let me showcase to you what are the topics I'm going to be covering in today's masterclass. The first topic we will start with is creating a common definition of what is customer management. So we all have a uniform understanding about what are we trying to accomplish. Once we understand what is customer management, then we'll go into the reason behind why do we need to care about customer management. I mean, aren't there enough things for us to care, to bother about and work on that we should focus on this topic? So that's why I want to break down for you the three core benefits of customer management. And once we understand the three core benefits of customer management, then we're going to go into one of the most crucial parts of today's masterclass, where I'm going to showcase for you what are the 6 stages of a customer's journey with any business. So you can map the journey of your customers with your own business. And in each one of these stages, I'm going to share with you what are the specific action steps you need to take to move the customer from one stage to another stage so that they're continuously engaging, continuously involving themselves with you. And once you understand the 6 stages and the actions that you are supposed to take, then we'll go into the most important topic of today, which is how do you design a customer management system? This is where I'll break down for you specific steps that you need to take in every department where there's a customer interacting role that is there. So you will learn how to design a customer management system. And beyond this, we will open the forum for a question answer session where I'll be happy to answer your questions. So ladies and gentlemen, these are the topics that we are going to be covering over the next couple of hours. Are you excited about taking this learning journey? If you're excited, type out excited in the chat box, please. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, while this is the topics of today's training, I'd like to create some ground rules at the beginning of the masterclass so we all have a seamless learning experience. My first request for all of you is going to be to make sure that you make a lot of notes. Okay. Make sure that you make a lot of notes because we don't share the recording of this masterclass. We expect our participants to participate actively and make a lot of notes. So make sure you're ready with a notebook and a pen. If you're ready with a notebook and a pen, type out ready in the chat box. If you're ready with a notebook and a pen, type ready in the chat box. Awesome. Thank you so much. And if you're not, quickly go grab a notebook and a pen. Secondly, I want you to participate fully. Okay, be physically and mentally present. It's a 2-hour conversation, which is going to help you take your customer interaction to a whole new level. So make sure you participate fully. If you're committing to that, type out fully in the chat box. So sit in a no distraction area, immerse yourself in the learning process. Next, finish what you start. At the end of the day, it's not starting something that gives you results. It's finishing something that gives you results. So make sure you finish what you start because the real results will happen towards the last module of today's interaction where we will teach you how to design a customer management system. So make sure you finish what you start. And like I said, if you have questions through the course of the masterclass, my request would be write it down in your notebook and put it in the chat box after the training is done when we open the forum for a question answer session. We value each and every one of your questions, but we also want to make sure that we have a seamless learning experience and we are not distracted by one person's questions and we are giving complete justice to everybody by completing the curriculum on time. And then I'm happy to stay back and answer all your questions. If you think that's a fair way of addressing questions, type out fair in the chat box. Last but definitely not the least, keep your energy high, engage in the chat box because that's the way we exchange energy. So every time I ask you to type something in the chat box because that's our way of exchanging energy and keeping the energy high of the learning process. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to get started with today's masterclass on customer management mastery. The first thing that I want to do as we begin the learning process is I want to know a little bit more about your business. So type out for me in the chat box, what business are you building? Type out for me in the chat box, what business are you building? Okay, Nixon is in cloud kitchen, Nirmal in manufacturing, Naveen in events, Piyush in switchgear distribution, Palani Velrajan is in insurance, Ritika in silver business, Blessy Joseph runs a cloud kitchen, Kiran in manufacturing, Rafiq in sales and service, Dheeraj in pharmaceutical, Bashir in honey business, Anil in legal business, Madhav in yarn trading and t-shirt manufacturing, Parimal in IT products and sales, Akhil in digital marketing training, Darshan in printing, Francisco in hotel reservation systems. Okay, I love the diversity of the group. I may not read out each one of your names, but I'm just going through the chat box to see the types of businesses in the room. We have people in environmental engineering, IT, technology, company, urban planning and design consultancy, branding and design for F&B, manufacturing, supply chain fulfillment, manufacturing and marketing specialty products, teaching, taxation services, HVAC, RF&TM, system integrator, manufacturing, eco fashion, office products, tally service training, customization, wealth management, branding and digital marketing, solar EPC. I love the diversity of the group. Food R&D, credit rating, pharma R&D. Awesome. So a warm welcome to each and every one of you to this masterclass, which is presented to you by Tally Solutions Private Limited, with the intention to serve and support small and medium business owners to help them build scalable, profitable businesses. So I want to thank each and every one of you for taking a time off. I've understood the diversity of the group here today. We have a good diverse mix of businesses in the room. Now, before I begin, is it okay if I give you a quick introduction about who I am, where I come from, so you decide whether you're in safe hands or not for the next couple of hours? Awesome. Thank you so much. For those who are interacting with me for the first time, my name is Rajiv Talreja, born and brought up in this lovely city called Bangalore. I've been an entrepreneur for 16 years, and over the last 16 years, these are the 6 businesses that I'm building right now. My first venture started in 2006, which was Quantum Leap Learning Solutions Private Limited, which is a coaching and consulting organization where we work with small and medium business owners to help them set up strategies and systems to scale up their business through one-to-one coaching, where we handhold them for a period of 1 year. My second venture was Dreamcraft Events and Entertainment, which I set up with my lovely wife, Bhakti, as an event management and experiential marketing company. My third venture was Dreamcatcher Investments, which I set up in 2017 with a vision to invest in startups that have the potential to scale. One of my investments was in a logistics company, which had a 20-member team doing a 20 lakh per annum turnover in 2017. In 4 years, we scaled it up from a 20-member team to a 2,000-member team, from a 20 lakh per annum turnover to a 55 crore per annum turnover. And in 2021, I exited that business. I sold that company to a larger logistics company. And then in 2018, I invested in my fourth venture, which was a sports team called Karnataka Warriors. Down south, we have 4 film industries, the film stars of which compete in a celebrity badminton league tournament, which is a sports and entertainment league aired on regional television channels. And that's where the Kannada film celebrity competes against the Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam film industries. And I own the Kannada film celebrity team that competes in the celebrity badminton league. 8 months ago, I started an AI-driven startup called Connects.community to help business owners generate leads without depending on social media. Right now, we have about 4,500 users on Connects.community who are using this to generate hot leads for their business. And just about 4 months ago, I joined an e-commerce startup by the name Zoozle, which is in creating a marketplace for product sellers to sell B2B as well as B2C, as a director for strategy and for business growth. So that's my background, ladies and gentlemen. I'm an entrepreneur who loves teaching. And I hope you're comfortable in having this learning conversation with me over the next couple of hours from one entrepreneur to another entrepreneur. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get started with the conversation for today. Firstly, by understanding what is customer management. So we are going to get started with defining what is customer management, so we all have a common understanding of this term customer management. I'd like you to write this down in your notebooks. Please write this down. Customer management is the process of mapping, managing, and maintaining the company's relationship with its existing and potential customers. Please write that down in your notebooks. Now listen to this carefully. When it comes to customer management, basically what are we looking at? We are looking at firstly mapping out what are the various touch points of interaction with the customer. Once we map out and understand what are the various touch points of interaction with existing as well as potential customers in our business process, we need to manage that touch point. We need to give a desirable experience on every single touch point. Yes or no? Like, let me ask you a question. Ever heard a lot about a restaurant from a friend and they said the food is amazing, the menu is very good, you should go there, and then you decided to make a reservation? You called on the number that was available on a search portal, and when you made that call, the person who answered that phone call was extremely rude to you. Where when you said, "Hi, I'd like to make a reservation for 8 p.m. today," they said, "Sorry, we don't take reservation. If you want, you can come and wait." Now, if that person did not manage that touch point, what are the chances of you turning from a potential customer to an existing customer? What are the chances if that person was rude to you and did not give you a pleasant customer experience? What are the chances? Type out for me. 0. Because you'll be like, to hell with that restaurant. Look at the way they speak, right? So every business needs to map what are the touch points with existing and potential customers. Then they need to manage by giving a desirable experience. And once you give a desirable experience, You can't reduce the quality of that experience. You got to maintain that experience for the customers. How many of you agree? Because customers' expectations are only increasing. It's only increasing. Think about it. We lived in a world where probably our parents waited for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year for a telephone connection. Today, if our network goes down for 30 seconds, we don't tolerate it. We look at changing our service provider, yes or no? So customers' expectations are always on the rise. While customers' expectations are on the rise, if we as businesses are not proactive about mapping, managing, and maintaining the customer's relationship and the customer's experience with our business, then the customer easily clicks the option of next. They say, if not you, next. That's what customers do in today's day and age. So customer management is a critical science, a critical skill for every business to develop. And today we are going to deep dive into the skill and science of customer management now that you've understood what it is. So firstly, before I break down for you how to go about customer management, let me answer the question of why should we manage customer experience? Why should we take care of this aspect of customer management in our business? What are the benefits of customer management? So fundamentally, if I have to break the benefits down, for any business, there are 3 benefits of customer management. The first one is when you care to manage the customer's experience and when you care about customer management, it helps you in learning more about the customer. It helps you in learning about, firstly, who are your customers? Why do they buy from you? What is the purchase history of the customer? And what are their other needs and problems? How many of you realize if you're mapping the customer's journey with you, if you're mapping the customer's experience with you, you are listening to the customer and what they are indicating, that's when you are able to profile who are your customers. That's where you are able to understand what makes them buy from you, what is the kind of purchases they make, and what are their other needs and problems. And this learning allows you to evolve your offering to the customer. If you agree, type out agree in the chat box. This learning helps you evolve your offering to the customer. It makes you more precise and it makes you more effective with your customers when you're learning these things about your customer. Now, apart from learning, the second benefit of customer management is it helps in organization of your own business. Because at the end of the day, when you are learning more about the customer and managing the customer efficiently, you are able to streamline what should be your marketing message, what should be your marketing strategies, what works for your customers. When you are learning about your customer, you are able to organize different aspects of your business. You're able to organize your marketing message and strategies. You're able to design your sales processes to take the customer through a desirable experience before they buy. You're able to develop your delivery processes to be able to deliver on what you promised them that you will deliver. You're able to manage key data points in this journey of customer management. So if you notice, every activity in our business is revolving around the customer. Marketing is revolving around the customer. Sales is revolving around the customer. Delivery and operations is revolving around the customer. So customer management as a science helps you streamline all these activities and eventually helps you automate in the automation of tasks and activities so that you can create uniformity of experience without too much human intervention over a period of time. So customer management allows you in learning and organization. And finally, customer management helps you in optimization of the customer as well. What do I mean by optimization? When you are proactive about customer management, apart from just learning and organizing your business processes in the right way, you can even optimize the customer's interaction and touch points. You can make it simpler, easier, faster for your customer. How many of you realize today, even all of us as customers, we prefer interacting with businesses which have made their business process simple, easy, and fast. Because if it's not simple, easy, and fast, and it's complex, tedious, and slow, we prefer not to interact with a business of that sort. True or not? Management of the customer interaction helps you in optimization. Another aspect of optimization that customer management as a subject allows you to do is it helps you enhance the customer's experience with your brand. See, every touch point creates an experience. And when you optimize the touch point, you're optimizing the experience. And finally, customer management helps you increase the satisfaction of the customer. So these are the core benefits of customer management. Now, honestly, I don't have to emphasize much upon this because it's common sense that when we are proactive about customer management, our learning is high, our organization is much better, and our optimization is higher, which makes it efficient for the customer and for us, which makes them smile and us smile through the process. So that's why customer management is a critical science. Now, the question is, how do you benefit from this science? How do you integrate this in the journey of the customer? So before we understand how do you create a customer management process, let us first understand what are the stages of a customer's journey. So I'm going to break down for you 6 stages. Then at each stage, I will break down for you what should be your action, what should be your input in the customer's journey. So let's start with the first stage of the customer's journey. The first stage of any customer's journey is called the stage of awareness. This is the stage where your customer hears about you through your marketing efforts. This is the stage where your customer hears about your brand through your marketing efforts. So everybody write down. Point number 1, awareness, where the customer hears about your brand through your marketing efforts. Now, most businesses have a pitfall here itself. Most businesses don't have a proactive marketing engine. They are depending on word of mouth referrals. Now, I'm not saying you don't get business through word of mouth referrals. You do get a lot of business through word of mouth referrals. But please consider this. You cannot control how many referrals you will receive through word of mouth on a weekly and a monthly basis. How many of you agree to that? Yes or no? So you got to be proactive about marketing. You can't just wait for customers to come to you. In fact, I always say this to business owners who've been in business for more than 10, 15 years. The biggest trap for a business who's been around for more than 10, 15 years is product arrogance, where they feel our product is great, our service is great. Why do we need to do marketing? But that's why what happens is newer businesses come. They're proactive about marketing. They're proactive about engaging with the customer. They're creating a better penetration and awareness in the market. And that's how they take away market share from an experienced business. So remember this. The first touch point of a customer is awareness stage. And in that awareness stage, you create awareness only when your customer hears about your brand through your marketing efforts. Don't just rely on word of mouth. So that's the first stage of a customer's journey. The second stage of a customer's journey is the consideration stage. What is the consideration stage? This is the stage where your customer starts comparing your products or services with your competitors in the market, because this is the stage they are evaluating. They're considering you as one of the options to buy from. Now, question, if you haven't put effort in the awareness stage, will your target customers even consider you? If you haven't put effort in the awareness stage and people don't know that you exist, will your target customer even consider you if they have a requirement of the product or the service? No, they won't. How many of you have had this experience where you went for a meeting and you presented about your organization, your products or services, and the customer was blown away, and they told you in that meeting, they said, where were you all these years? Why didn't we know about you before? If we knew about you before, we would have given you all the projects of the past. How many of you have experienced that? If you've experienced that, type out me in the chat box. See, at that point, you feel proud, no? You feel like, see, they understand my value. They know how valuable our products or services are. But can I tell you something? While they are complimenting you, they are also complaining to you. They're complaining to you and asking you, why were you hiding? Why haven't you marketed yourself? Why don't we know about you? Right? So remember this, each stage is built on a previous layer. Stage 1 is awareness, where you need to do marketing so the customer knows about your existence. Stage 2 is consideration, where they start considering you as one of the options. They compare you with the competitors' products or services, and that's the stage of consideration. Then comes the third stage. The third stage is called the decision stage. The third stage is called the decision stage. This is the stage where they decide to buy from you. This is the stage where they feel, okay, your product, your service is way more superior than anybody else. I have confidence in you, so let me buy from you. So that's the third stage, the decision stage, where they decide to buy from you. This is where the sale actually happens. This is where a prospect turns into a customer. Now, after the decision stage comes the next stage in the customer's journey with your business. The next stage of the customer's journey with your business is the delivery stage. Once they've made a decision to buy, you need to deliver. Now, in the delivery stage comes all the activities and departments that are involved in creating and delivering the products or services to the customer. So if you're a manufacturing business, in the delivery stage, you have your purchase department, which is procuring the raw material, your production department, which is turning the raw material into finished goods, your maintenance department, which is maintaining the machinery, your quality check department, which is checking the quality of the finished goods, your packaging department, which is packaging the finished goods, your admin department, which is taking care of your infrastructure, your IT department, which is taking care of your information technology, your logistics department, which is delivering the product, and your customer service or customer support department, which is actually taking care of post-delivery customer requirements. So all these activities are involved in the delivery stage, because if any of these activities have a breakdown, then eventually there's a breakdown in the delivery to the customer. How many of you agree? All these activities need to flow seamlessly. Now, in each one of your business, there are different activities and different departments that are involved in creating and delivering the product or the service. So you have your own set of activities. Not all of you have a purchase department or a logistics department or a quality check department or a manufacturing department or a production department, right? Each one of you have your own set of tasks and activities and departments which are involved in creating and delivering the product or service. All of those activities that you undertake to create the product or service and deliver the product or service comes under the fourth stage of the customer's journey, which is the delivery stage. So you need to manage the touch points there also. Then comes the fifth stage of the customer's journey. The fifth stage of the customer's journey is the experience stage. As you are undertaking these tasks and activities and departments to create the product or service and deliver the product or service, for the customer, it all boils down to the experience they have when they use your product or service, and the experience they have through the journey of interacting with you after they have purchased from you. So there are two key metrics in the experience stage. The first key metrics in the experience stage is value for money. And the second key metrics in the experience stage is the happiness of the customer. Now, if I have to define these two for you, value for money is a derivation of the functional use of your product or service, which means what? If I came to a restaurant and I ate the food and the food was tasty, then I got value for money because I came for the taste of the food. So the functional use of that product was for me to eat it. I enjoyed the process of eating it, so it was value for money. If I hired an interior designer to do the interiors of my home, the aesthetic appeal, the space utilization, the quality of the material use is what will determine the value of money. Yes or no? Whether this service was value for money or not. If I hire a wedding planner for my sister's wedding, the timely delivery, the creatives, the theme, the decor, the entertainment, all of that, if that is up to the mark, then I will say I got value for money. So value for money is the functional use of your product or service. What did the customer buy that product or service for? If they achieve that objective, then it is value for money. That's a good experience. The second metric is happiness. Happiness is the overall experience through the interactions. Happiness is the overall experience through the interactions. For example, if you go to a restaurant, the food is tasty, but the server was rude, then you may have got value for money for the food, but the experience overall was not a happy one. If you hired an interior designer, they did a great job at aesthetic appeal, space utilization, quality of material. They did a great job at that. You got value for money. But instead of delivering your home interiors in 6 months, if they took 12 months, you definitely will not be happy. How many of you realize? Sometimes we give the product or service and the product or service is good, but the way we give the product or service also matters. The interaction of the customer also matters, because that's what determines how happy they are. And that's what is the experience aspect of the customer's journey. If this is making sense, that one makes sense. I have seen businesses who justify value for money when they have not created a happy experience for the customer. They said, we gave it, no. We did our job, no. Still they are complaining, no. Baba, they are complaining because of the indifference in your tone. You gave it, but you didn't give it with care. I had a friend who recently delivered a child, and she went to a reputed hospital. She said, Rajiv, such a reputed hospital, but when I was in my labor and I was crying in pain, the nurses are laughing, saying this is early labor, what she's crying now only. And they're chit-chatting around me when I'm laying there on the bed. She said the experience was horrible. Now the hospital can say, we delivered the baby for you, value for money done. But what are the chances of this lady going for a second delivery to the same hospital? Zero. She's left with a scar in her memory saying the nurses were mocking at me while I was in pain. So how many of you are able to bifurcate value for money and experience? Yeah. You got to see the two differently, and you got to deliver both. Value for money and happiness are two key metrics of experience, right? Which brings me to the sixth stage in the customer's experience. It starts with the awareness. It moves to consideration. Then they make a decision to buy. You got to put your act together and deliver. And while you're delivering, the experience matters in terms of value for money and happiness. And beyond that, once you've delivered the experience, it's also about building loyalty with the customer. How do you gain the loyalty of your customers? There are three key metrics of loyalty here. First, do they repurchase? If your product or service is the type where people use it frequently and repeatedly, are they coming back and buying from you again and again and again? That's repurchase. Second, are they willing to refer customers to you? Are they proactively recommending people to you? And finally, what are they talking about you? Are they your raving fans? Do they love you? Do they go out and say, I love this brand. I love this business. I love that store. I love this manufacturing facility. I love this organization. Are they being your raving fans? How many of you agree? These are three important metrics of loyalty. If the customer is demonstrating any one of these, you know what you can do? You can pat yourself on the back and say, good job. You can pat yourself on the back and say, good job, because they are loyal to you. You've impacted them, not just in a financial transaction. You've impacted them and built a deeper relationship with them. And that's why they are loyal to you. That's why they refer clients to you. That's why they go out there and put social media posts about you. That's why they come back and buy from you. So these are indicators of loyalty. So ladies and gentlemen, firstly, take a moment and understand. This is typically the stages of a customer's journey with any business, be it with your business, or even look at yourself as a customer with any business from whom you buy products or services. These has been the stages you went through as well. You got to know in awareness, you started considering them, then you made a decision to buy, then you experienced their delivery, you saw whether you got value for money and happiness, and then you decided whether you want to be loyal or not be loyal. The same process is applicable to your customers. So how many of you realize that these are the 6 critical stages of a customer's journey, and we as a business need to be proactive about managing, mapping, and optimizing the customer's experience across the 6 stages? Yes or no? A customer does not go through these 6 stages by themselves. We need to nudge them, sometimes push them, sometimes take care of them so that they keep moving from one stage to the other stage, one stage to the other stage. When they are in awareness, you want to move them to consideration. When they're in consideration, you want to move them to decision. When they're in decision, you want to move them to delivery. After delivery, you want to create a positive experience. At experience, you want to create loyalty. So it's your job to move the customer from one stage to the other. Now, would you like to learn how? How can you move the customer from one stage to the other? What are your action steps? What are you supposed to do as a business to move the customer from one stage to the other? Would you like to learn that? Awesome. So let me break it down for all of you. At the awareness stage, your actions needs to be to make sure that you're the best known and the most found in your industry by delivering value-driven content and giving away some giveaways. Consider this. I'm going to make a statement. Listen to it carefully. We live in a world where best known and most found beats the best. I'll repeat that statement. We live in a world where best known and most found beats the best. How many of you think that's a true statement? Best known and most found beats the best. Let me elaborate. Let me elaborate this. I interacted with a garment manufacturer recently. They manufacture cotton t-shirts. And that person was so excited to showcase the sample of the t-shirts that he manufactures. He was like, see Rajiv, see, touch the cloth. Are you seeing the fabric? You see how light it is? And you see it's stretchable as well. Where will you get this quality of fabric? Are you seeing it's such a light fabric? Like even during summer, you can wear this. It's so light on your skin. Amazing fabric, Rajiv. This is the kind of t-shirts we manufacture. You know, while there was passion in his voice, there was pain. You know what the pain was? The pain was, I manufacture such a superior product, but my sales are low. People barely know about my brand. That was the pain. How many of you have had that kind of pain in the past in your business where you feel your product is great, your service is great, but you're not attracting enough customers? Rutu has put an emoji of a smiley with tears. I'm guessing, Rutu, that's laughter of pain, not laughter of pleasure. Dard ki hasi. Right? Now, I'll tell you why. See, a lot of businesses, they love the victim psychology. You know what's the victim psychology? I'm so good. My product is so great. My service is so great. But in this Kalyugi dunya, I am a Satyug Prani who does not get good business because everybody is Kalyugi, including my customers. This victim mindset is what keeps businesses mediocre. You may have a great product, you may have a great service, but if you're not known, if you're not easily found, who will buy from you? No one. That's the bitter truth. That's why I said best known and most found beats the best. You may be the best, but who knows? Who knows you if you're not marketing yourself? Who knows you if you're not making yourself visible? Who knows you if you're not making sure that you're reaching the customer at their doorstep? So you need to make sure as a business, you take responsibility for building your brand, for increasing your distribution and your reach, so you are the best known and the most found. If that makes sense, that makes sense. Or you bask in the glory of your victimhood and feel like my competitors are unethical. That's why they are growing. I am ethical. That's why I'm not growing. You know, ethicality is the certificate business owners give themselves when they are not being proactive about taking action in their own business. It's a self-certificate for self-satisfaction. मैं अच्छा इंसान हूँ. भाई तुम अच्छे इंसान हो, अच्छे मार्केटर बनो, अच्छे सेल्स पर्सन भी तो बनो. वो भी तो जरूरी है. Best known and most found beats the best. Now, how do you increase your reach? How do you make sure you're most found? You give value to people, educate people, create value-driven content. Today, we live in a world where content is king. What's important here is that you educate your customer. If you're in a B2B business, create educational emails around the best practices of outsourcing production. Create educational emails around the best practices in your industry. If you're a B2C business, create educational content on social media. If you are a channel business where you have distributors and dealers, create educational content and put it on WhatsApp in the format of videos, in the format of emails, in the format of infographics. Give value-driven content, establish credibility, give away samples, give a taster of your capability to people. Only when you give a taste of your capability to people, will people move from awareness to consideration, yes or no? If you don't give a taste of your capability to people and you're hiding below your bed, nobody's going to come searching for you and look below your bed and say, hello, hi, we want to give you business. Not going to happen, my friends. You got to be proactive in marketing. Is this making sense? That's when you move the customer from an awareness stage to a consideration stage, because now they're thinking, saying, hey, I'm seeing this brand again and again, or I'm seeing this product again and again, or I'm hearing a lot of about it. They're creating a lot of content. I'm watching their content as well. This is making so much sense. So from awareness, you move them to consideration. Now, when they are at a consideration stage, these are your actions. When a person starts considering you as an option to buy from, you need to position your benefits. You need to position how you can add value to them. You need to nurture the relationship. You need to share case studies and testimonials of your past customers. And you need to focus on the value you can add to them, not on the price, on the value. What value can you bring to this business? What value can you bring to this individual? I'll give you a simple example. Okay, I'll give you a simple example. Say, for example, one of my clients runs a dermatology clinic. They are into hair care, skin care, and stuff like that. Now, this client of mine, he's a 76-year-old gentleman by the name Dr. Sajjan Agarwal, based out of Hyderabad. Here's what Dr. Sajjan Agarwal started doing. He's 76 years old, been in business for more than 47 years as a medical practitioner in dermatology. He realized that I can't just sit and say, I'm a good doctor, I'm a good dermatologist, I'm a good dermatologist. I need to create awareness. He started creating videos. He started educating people on how to take care of your skin, how to take care of your hair. What are the different types of scalps a person could have? Some could have an oily scalp, some could have a dry scalp. So he started educating and creating content. Now that content gets consumed by people. Now someone watches one video, that's awareness. They come back and watch another video, that's increasing their awareness and now moving towards consideration. Yes or no? If they're watching content again and again, slowly from awareness, they start considering, saying, yeah, I'm also seeing hair fall. Yeah, yesterday when I did shampoo, there was one full gucha of hair in my hand. Oh my God, I think I should talk to Dr. Sajjan. I think I should meet him. So what is Dr. Sajjan Agarwal doing? Apart from creating awareness and adding value, he starts showcasing case studies. He starts showcasing case studies, saying there's a 24-year-old who had a very, very sedentary lifestyle. Because of a sedentary lifestyle, he had massive hair loss and almost went to a bald scalp at the age of 24. Then he worked with us for 3 months. We did not do any transplant. We did not do any hair weaving, but just through naturopathy, we were able to help him revive his hair growth. And there's a before and after picture over there. Now he's showcasing case studies. He's showcasing testimonials. Now that customers' inclination is increasing, saying, wow, Dr. Sajjan is creating these kind of results. I need to talk to Dr. Sajjan. I need to go meet him. So when someone sends him a message on Facebook, he responds back. He's nurturing the relationship. He's positioning the benefits that we do it in a natural manner, in a sustainable manner. You know why I'm giving you Dr. Sajjan Agarwal's example? Because he's 76. He's 76 and he's playing the game like he's young. Some of you are 45 and you act like you are old. That's why I'm giving you a 76-year-old's example. Because when I say nurture relationships, create content, someone will be like, Rajiv, at this age, how to make videos? At this age, how to create content? I'm sorry, there's no age. If the mindset is there, age is just a number. The mindset needs to be there. This is making sense. So your action needs to be consistent marketing where you are adding value, creating awareness. And while you are consistently adding value and educating people, while you are adding value and educating people, you also need to nurture the relationship. You need to respond to their messages. You need to reply to their comments. You need to showcase your case studies. You need to showcase the value of your products or services. You need to position what are the benefits, not the features, the benefits of your products or services. I'll give you a simple example. Today, all of you are attending this masterclass thanks to the initiative by Tally. Now, if you see Tally's tagline, power of simplicity. Would it be fair to say Tally was the first software product of most Indian businesses? Yes or no? How did they benefit? How did they penetrate the market and get traditional businesses to adopt IT technology? They penetrated the market and got traditional businesses to adopt IT technology 27 years ago by showcasing benefit. When they used to sell Tally, they never said, we can do, we have these many kind of ledgers, these many kind of accounts. They didn't do that. They just focused the benefit. They said, look, it's simple. What we mean by power of simplicity is this. If you press enter on Tally on any particular tab, you will go inside. If you press escape, you will come outside. Easy to use. That's the benefit. They didn't say we have 124 different features on our product. Let's overwhelm you with all the 124 features. They just said, enter matlab andar jao, escape matlab bahar hao. Itna kar sakte ho to technology sambhal sakte ho. That's it. And traditional businesses adopted Tally, and they've been leading the market for 27 years, right? Today, you have startups who are talking about getting traditional businesses to adapt technology and create behavioral change. Tally did that 27 years ago because they position benefit. Saying benefit is our product is simple. Is this making sense, everybody? So you got to do this. Now, when you take the action of positioning your benefits, you nurture the relationship with your target customer. You share case studies and testimonials. You focus on value, the value you can add to them. That's when you compel them to move from consideration to decision, where they decide to buy from you. That's when you move them to decision. Now, how do you close the deal? What should you do to make sure that they buy from you? You need to have a fact plus faith-based pitch. Please write that down. Fact plus faith-based pitch. Now, what do I mean by a fact plus faith-based pitch? When you are selling, you need to answer some basic questions for your customer in your sales pitch. Why should they buy this product or service? Why should they buy from me? Why not from somebody else? Why should they pay this much? And why should they buy right now? For these 4 questions, you need to have logical answers. Why buy this? Because this product will help you do this, 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 and this. That's a fact. Why buy from me? Because we have these differentiators. We are the cheapest option, or we are the most advanced option, or we are the most custom-driven option, or we are the most one-stop solution. Give a why buy from me. Why not from somebody else? And why pay this much? Because the value of what we are offering you is actually this much, but the price we are charging you is only this much. And why should you buy now? Because at the end of the day, if you know that you need this, it's the right product or the right service, make a decision, continue the journey. Simple as that. You need to have a logical plus an emotional sales pitch. Now, when I say emotional sales pitch, I don't mean make the customer cry and say, we will make India great again. Nahi. Itna bhi nahi. Drama nahi. Fact-based means logical reasons for why buy this, why buy from me, why pay this much, why buy now. Faith-based means you're giving an assurance to the client. You're assuring the client saying, hey, listen, while these are the benefits of this product, here's what I can assure you. The quality is so-and-so benchmarked. You don't have to worry. Why buy from me? Faith-based means this is the values I stand for. I stand for integrity. I stand for saying what I do and doing what I say. I will not say something and do something else. If you want to work with someone like that, then I'm the right person. So faith-based answers also and fact-based answers also for these 4 questions. How many of you realize if you design a sales pitch answering these 4 questions with fact-based logical reasons and faith-based assurances, then you have a solid sales pitch. Yes or no? You got to put effort in making sure that you're doing sales by design. You can't do sales by default. You can't just show the product, give a brochure and say, you let me know if you're interested. Huh? Let me know. If your job in sales was just to tell the customer to let you know, then a brochure would have done that job, no? You got to put the extra effort. You got to make a strong case. Why buy this? Why buy from me? Why pay this much? Why buy now? Fact-based logical reasons, faith-based assurances. That's how you make sure you give the customer reason to make a decision. You make it compelling for the customer to buy. And then when the customer moves to the stage where they've bought from you, and now it's your turn to deliver. That's when you need to manage quantity, quality, cost, time, team, and tracking. You need to manage these internal aspects. Are you prepared to deliver the quantity that the customer is ordering? Are you prepared to deliver the quality at which the customer would accept that product or service? Are you managing your costs of production or creating that product or service? Is your turnaround time acceptable to the customer? Are you delivering the product or service on time as per the expectations of the customer? Do you have the team who has the skills to deliver a seamless experience to the customer? And what is your tracking mechanism internally to make sure all of this is on track? You got to break down these metrics and manage them internally to create a powerful customer experience. Quantity, quality, cost, time, team, tracking. These are the key elements in the delivery stage that you need to take care of. And as you deliver the right quantity at the right quality within the right time, managing your internal costs with the right team, and you're tracking the progress of these activities in the experience stage, you need to make sure that the customer has a support system. You need to have a strong customer support system. You need to give the customer an opportunity to give you a feedback if something's not working, or you need to have a system to collect testimonials if everything is working. So many businesses have happy customers, but they have no documentation of the happiness of the customer because they're not collecting testimonials. How many of you agree that's a big blunder, where you have happy customers, but you're not collecting the testimonials recording their happiness? It's so much data lost. No, Rajiv, we are too busy in projects. Baba, it'll take you 15 minutes or 20 minutes to sit with a customer and get a testimonial out. And that 15-20 minutes invested and getting a good testimonial from a client can get you 20 other customers. You need to have a system in place for this. That's when the experience of the customer is great. When you have a proper customer support system, you have a feedback system, you have a testimonial system. That's when you're engaging and making it interactive. Are you seeing? Through the journey, at every stage, you have critical actions as a business to take. Yes or no? How many of you are getting clarity? Like, this is end-to-end business process, if you actually think about it. It starts with the customer, it ends with the customer. It starts with marketing, it goes to sales, then moves to operations, right? And as you are creating a positive experience on your customer to really make them your loyal customers, you need to take actions of remarketing. You need to remarket to the customer so they repurchase from you. Or you need to have a referral program where you give your customer some kind of reward or benefit for referring clients to you. Or you need to have some loyalty rewards where the more they buy from you, the more they accumulate points and the more benefits you can add to them. So you need to either have a remarketing system or a referral program for your customers or a loyalty program for your customers. I want you to take a moment, absorb this slide, understand the journey from awareness to consideration to decision to delivery to experience to loyalty. Okay, understand the journey, and at each step, understand what is your role. What is your role? And ask yourself, are we playing our role at every stage? If not, what do we need to change? So I'm going to ask you a question. Quickly do an audit of your business right now and tell me, what actions do you feel are missing currently? Guys, stop putting your email IDs. We don't share the PPT. We share some sketch notes with you and we'll tell you how you will get the sketch notes. Focus on the learning. You know, sometimes in the process of having this data, you don't internalize the data. So don't worry. I'll tell you how to get these resources from me later. Focus on the learning now. Is that fair? Yes. Answer the question for me. Okay. Answer the question for me. Through the journey, where do you feel there is potential for improvement? What do you think is an activity that you are missing today that you can start doing right now? Piyush says referral program or loyalty. Okay. Devasmita says testimonial. Okay. Collecting testimonials. Through the journey from awareness to loyalty. Jignesh Shah says all of the above. We need to start activating. Okay. Parimal says the awareness activities of marketing we need to start doing. Kajal says remarketing is something we need to do. Bashir says remarketing. Okay. Ansari says positioning. We need to position our benefits. Pradeep says testimonials we need to collect. Nirmal says testimonials we need to collect. Nixon says from consideration to loyalty, need to start acting on all those touch points. Suresh says experience measurement. We need to start measuring the experience, collect feedback, collect testimonial. Okay. Awesome. So even if you got one step from here, for me, that is worth it because it takes the customer experience to the next level. So ladies and gentlemen, here's what I'd like you to do. I'm going to next teach you how do you create a customer management system. But before I teach you a customer management system, I'm going to practice what I preached. Have you had a positive experience so far on this masterclass? If yes, type out yes. Okay. Now, if you've had a positive experience on this masterclass, I would like for you today to go on your social media channels, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and do a post thanking Tally, thanking ET Now, and mentioning me for doing this masterclass and helping you understand the journey of customer management. How many of you will do that? See, when you have happy customers, you should shamelessly ask for testimonials. Piyush says, done deal. Pakka, promise. Dekho, that is karma completion between both of us. We've added value to you. You go and inspire other people to understand that learning is a necessity. Will you do that? See, I'm implementing what I taught you. I'm asking you for a testimonial. Yes? Okay. So with that, let's go into understanding how do you create a customer management process. Ready to learn that, everyone? Because I've shown you the journey, I've shown you your actions, but now I need to help you understand what is the customer management process. Hota kya hai? Karte kaise hain? That's what we need to understand. Yes? Okay, wonderful. So consider this, everyone. Consider this. What you need to understand about a customer management process is that it's the end-to-end touch points of a customer. Right from the time they start interacting with you till the time they continue to buy from you, every touch point matters. So what I'm going to do is this. First, I'm going to show you a case study of a hallmark organization which is known for creating an amazing customer experience. Now we'll take this hallmark organization's case study, and then I will teach you the customer management process using this case study, and I'll give you more examples of smaller businesses as well. Is that okay? So do you prefer learning through a case study? So there's a practical reference point for every step? Yes? Okay, great. So the hallmark organization whose example I want to give all of you in creating a powerful customer management process is Changi Airport. Okay. Now, where is the Changi Airport? Anybody knows? The Changi International Airport? Singapore, right? So the Changi International Airport is the airport of Singapore. It's known as one of the best airports in the world, and there's a reason for that. So let me break down for you, how did Changi Airport manage their customer management system and what are the various touch points they took care of. So Changi Airport firstly has this philosophy. This is their mission statement: to be the best and the friendliest airport in the world. So that's their mission, to be the best and the friendliest airport in the world. And this mission is turned into a practice which is called SMILE. What do I mean by SMILE? So they've elaborated SMILE as S stands for smile, M stands for be motivated in the customer, be motivated when you're talking to a customer, be interested in listening to the customer, listen to the customer, and go the extra mile for the customer. Which means what? Let me give you an example. Say, for example, you have a connecting flight from India to Singapore and from Singapore to somewhere else. Say you're going to New Zealand for a vacation. You land at the Changi International Airport. That Changi International Airport is like a country in itself. Like, it's superbly widespread. They have terminals of monorails connecting one terminal to another terminal. So you land there and they tell you that your connecting flight is on gate 27A. Now you are searching where is 27A. When you're searching where's 27A, you walk around and you will ask any person who's wearing any kind of uniform, where is 27A? Yes or no? You won't go to the customer support desk. You'll ask anybody wearing any kind of uniform, where is 27A? So say, for example, you see a Boots pharmacy store at the airport. You go into the airport and say, excuse me, which way is gate 27A? Now, what you will see is this. Even the store manager at Boots, even though his work is not to sit and give directions to people, the first response you will see is they will smile. They'll say, yes, how can I help you? And they'll be motivated to help you. They'll be interested in listening to you. You'll say, gate 27A. They'll say, oh, you're flying by Air New Zealand. 27A. Go straight. You will see a monorail. Take the monorail. Get down at Terminal 2. Terminal 2, right side. Walk for 6 minutes. You'll see 27A. Enjoy your vacation. And not just that. This person, when they will show you the direction, they will step out of the store and they'll walk at least 3 steps. At least 3 steps. It's a standard operating procedure. That's an indication for going the extra mile. They'll walk at least 3 steps with you in the direction, say, come this side. You go this way. Anybody tried asking any other shopkeeper in any other airport in the world about a particular gate? And even though they were at the airport, they looked at you and said, nahi malum. Every staff member at Changi has been trained on this philosophy of smile. Every staff member, whether they work for Changi or they work for a retail store at Changi, they all have gone through this common training called smile. It's a standard operating procedure. Now, how have they created a customer management system around smile? Let me show you that. They've built a customer management system around smile by firstly breaking down from the time the aircraft's door opens till the time a customer reaches a cab or a customer sits in another aircraft. Because when do customers experience Changi Airport? From the time their aircraft door opens till the time they sit in a cab or till the time they sit in their connecting flight. What Changi has done is they've broken down what does the customer see, what does the customer hear, what does the customer touch, what does the customer smell, what does the customer taste, and based on each touch point, what is the experience the customer has. They've mapped it down at every single perception point. I'll give you a simple example. Ever stood in an aero bridge approaching a flight, like going into an aero bridge or getting out of a flight in an aero bridge, and have you seen torn posters of branding? Have you seen that? Yeah. Now, why do they tear the posters in airports? Nahi, unka branding contract khatam ho gaya, to abhi poster phaad do, kyun visibility dena? In Changi, you will never see something like that. You'll see neat aero bridges. Okay. They make sure that there is constant spraying of perfumes in every part of the airport, so the smell is great. The food curated in the food court is of high quality, so that your taste experience is great at Changi. Every part of Changi is a visual appeal. They have a butterfly park. They have a wings where you can, statue where you can stand next to the wings and take a selfie. So everything you see here, touch, smell, taste, has been considered in Changi and has been managed and mapped with precision in Changi. And when they did this mapping, here's what they realized. What they realized was this. At one point of time in the airport, at one place in the airport, people don't smile. You know where people don't smile at the airport? Immigration counter. Because how is an immigration officer trained to interact with the people? When you reach an immigration counter, they ask you, passport, your name, where are you from? How many days are you here in Singapore? What's your purpose for visit? Where are you staying? Can I see the proof, please? Thank you. Now, that's how an immigration officer is supposed to speak, right? An immigration officer cannot speak like, hello, welcome to Changi, welcome to Singapore. How come Singapore? Oh, honeymoon, enjoy. Go to Resort World Sentosa, very nice, very nice. An immigration officer can't speak like that. That's breach of duty. They need to investigate. They need to have an investigative tone, yes or no? So they'll go, name, passport, purpose, how many days, where are you staying? That's how they're supposed to talk. But Changi was hell-bent, saying we want people to smile even at the immigration counter. So you know what they did? Here's what they did. They told the immigration officer, you talk in your strict tone itself, no problem. But just one thing, when you're doing this investigation in your strict tone, just in between, say one word and point your hand at the counter. And they say, would you like to have some sweet, please? And there's a box of candies there at the immigration counter. So what would happen? The moment the immigration officer says, would you like to have some sweet, please? And your eyes go on the candies. When you see candies, you smile. And you're like, free है, 4 ले लेता हूं, बंटी के लिए 2 और, बबली के लिए 4 और, फ्री है. They are so hell-bent upon making customers smile at every touch point that even at a immigration desk, they created an opportunity for people to smile. Not just that. Here's what they realized. Another place where people don't smile is, let's just say you're traveling, okay? And you are at the security check. Now, when you're at the security check, let's assume you're going with your spouse, and at the security check, one of you is carrying a perfume bottle, which is more than 100 ml in your handbag. Now, in any airport in the world, what would happen when you have a liquid for more than 100 ml in your handbag? What would happen at the security check? They'll say not allowed. They'll take it. They'll put it in the dustbin. Yes or no? They'll put it in the dustbin then and there. And you can't even say, nahi, waste nahi karna hai. You can't even put the entire perfume then and there and go, no? You can't do that. Fayda nahi hai. Yeah. You can't sit and spray perfume on every passenger who's walking through saying, waste ho jayega, aap bhi laga lo. It can't happen. In any place in the world, you'll put it in the dustbin. Now, Changi realizes that sometimes people can make mistakes. They can make errors. They can carry things that are prohibited to be carried in their hand carry. So what does Changi do? In between two security check counters, you'll always see this kiosk at the Changi Airport called Speed Post Changi. Now, what is Speed Post Changi? Basically, you go there, you remove a form. It is a sticker. You write your name. You write the address of your home or the destination where you're traveling to, and you get a Ziploc cover there. You put it in a Ziploc cover, put the sticker, and you deposit in the package there like a letter box. You put it over there, and they would courier it to you, either to your home or to your destination. Initially, when they launched this, they would do this for free. Now they charge you a few dollars, but it's better to pay those dollars than to lose that expensive perfume. Yes or no? They're going the extra mile. So they're saying, wait, do you have items that you can't bring on board? Don't worry. Put it in a Ziploc cover, enter your address, deposit it here, we'll courier it to you. They're taking care of the customer's experience. They also realized one of the points where customers are most unhappy when they don't smile is on a Monday morning, early morning flight. So what do? They say Monday morning, travelers are grumpy. They are leaving their families and traveling for work. Early morning flights are a pain on Monday because Sunday you've had a long day. So to make people smile, they give coffee for free till 7:30 a.m. in the morning, saying, make your Monday morning great with Changi. Take coffee for free. The moment you get something for free, you smile. Yes or no? Every touch point in the airport has been designed to make the customer smile. Question: how many of you feel like going to Changi? They're like, I should go to Changi. Matlab 3 घंटा तो उधर ही बिताने का. Right? I should ask Singapore government to start paying me a royalty for promoting Changi International Airport. It's a good business model for me as well. Okay. Now. Can I break down for you the science behind this? So I give you specific steps on how to design a customer management system. Can I give you the science? Now the specific steps on how to design a customer management system. Okay. So please make a note of this. Here's how you design a customer management system. First, as a business, you list the customer's touch points. From awareness to loyalty, what are the customers seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, tasting? Make a list of touch points. Write down that. That's step number 1. List the customer's touch points. From awareness till loyalty. What does the customer see? What should the customer hear? What should the customer touch? What should the customer smell? What should the customer taste? Define everything. Define everything. Like, I'll give you an example. Okay. I'll give you an example. One of my clients was into enterprise software sales. Okay. So they were into B2B sales. Now, when they're into B2B sales and they had a sales team from across the country, they went to the level of detailing of gifting every salesperson sweat patches and a deodorant. Every salesperson was given, you know what are sweat patches? You get these patches that you put in your armpits, because what they realized is in the hotter cities, when the salesperson is traveling by the motorcycle, they are sweating. Their awkward sweat patches over here. And when they go to a customer, it looks a little gross and disgusting. So they give sweat patches so that the shirts don't get dirty, and they give deodorants to the customer, saying, we need to even manage what the customer sees and what the customer smells. How many of you realize that's detailing? Yes or no? These are simple practices. See, one thing you need to know is this: creating a customer management system is not some complex, high investment activity. It is about just taking care of the perception points of the customer. What does the customer see? It starts with your website. It starts with your social media pages. What does the customer hear? It starts with your customer support executives, scripts, voice, tone, accent. What does the customer touch? Your business card, your brochures, the material you use, the fabric you use, the samples you give out. Everything the customer touches, map that. What does a customer smell? If there's an opportunity to smell, if they're coming into your infrastructure and your office, is it neat, clean? Does it smell pleasant? Or there is some awkward odor of rats dying in your AC vents? What does the customer taste? The coffee you serve, all of that matters. Think about it. This is not new stuff for new age organizations. How many of you have that family jeweler or your family apparel store where you go for shopping regularly? And when you go for shopping, that neighborhood chart, you love that chart. So when you go to their shop, they say, Bhaiya, mangwaun, aapka. And I say, haan, idhar aaye to chart kha ke hi jayenge. That is also customer touch point, no? He's getting you the best chart in town when you're sitting in his store and shopping. Ladies and gentlemen, everything the customer sees, here, touches, smells, and tastes matters. Is this making sense? So you got to first list from awareness to loyalty. What are the different touch points? What does the customer see, hear, touch, smell, and taste? And then you got to develop the communication at every customer touch point. So what will be communicated to the customer at every touch point? What's the content of what the business needs to communicate at every stage? You need to design scripts, what to say, what not to say. You need to design scripts at every step of the process. Like watch, ever been to Sahara Star Hotel in Mumbai? You walk into that hotel, they'll go, Sahara Pranam. And you're like, oh, this is new. And you go like, ha, main bhi, Sahara Pranam. Right? They have a script at every touch point. They have a script at every touch point. What to say, what not to say. Like, one of the best customer service organizations that all of you can experience firsthand. How many of you feel that the communication quality of American Express customer support executives is mind-blowing? If you're an American Express customer, you know what I'm talking about. Like, the way they talk to you is uplifting because they have clear scripts. They have proper training on what to say, how to say it. They have amazing scripts. They'll talk to you with such ease. And that script doesn't sound like a script. It sounds like a conversation. That's how beautiful the script is. So you first break down the touch points. Then you design the scripts at each stage. Are you with me so far? Step 1, break down the touch points. What do they see, hear, smell, touch, taste? And step 2, design scripts. So you know exactly what to say, what not to say at each touch point. And then, as you're doing this, you need to define what's the customer experience goal. Now, how do you define a customer experience goal? You ask yourself, what do you want the customer to understand? What do you want the customer to think? What do you want the customer to feel? Ask yourself these 3 questions. What do you want the customer to understand? What do you want the customer to think? What do you want the customer to feel? You need to define an experience goal. Because at the end of the day, what they understand, what they think, what they feel determines what impact you've created. Lakshya, you should have attended our last session. Our last session was on cash flow management, where we spoke about the reasons why businesses don't get money on time and how they could use counter strategies. You should have attended our last session. You wouldn't have asked me this question today then. That problem got solved there. This is more about your customer's experience. Okay. What do you want the customer to understand? What do you want the customer to think? What do you want the customer to feel? I'll give you a simple example. Okay. I'll give you a simple example. Say, for example, if I'm selling an apartment, okay, and I'm selling a high value apartment, then I want to make sure that the customer feels wow, the customer thinks this is a dream home, and the customer understands what makes it high value. So my script needs to make sure that I'm highlighting some of the USPs of our property, some of the highlights of the material we are using. Yes or no? So based on what I want the customer to understand, think, and feel, my script needs to be in line with that. Every touch point needs to lead towards that. So say I'm showing a demo flat or a demo apartment, which is a high value apartment. I need to make sure that the experience of the customer is seamless. The moment they come in, instead of giving them a water bottle in plastic, I probably give them coffee or tea or a glass of champagne. Customer did not expect to get a glass of champagne or wine when they're coming to see an apartment. That will make them come more often, drink more, and sign up faster. Do you realize that? Just kidding, right? So if I'm giving champagne, they'll be like, wow. Okay. Usually तो किसी भी real estate project में champagne नहीं पिलाते, ये तो champagne पिला रहे, right? And then when I'm taking them through, everything is automated. I'm not sitting and opening the door with a key. I'm just entering a passcode and the door opens. And the light comes on the moment I'm walking through the apartment, the demo flat. Okay. And then every piece of furniture is handpicked, beautifully curated, great design aesthetics. And the moment the champagne is done, there's a butler who walks in with a black waistcoat, a white crisp shirt with white gloves, with a champagne bottle saying, would you like a refill, sir? And they say, no, I'm done. So they collect the glass immediately. So the customer's not holding an empty glass and walking around. Every touch point matters. You know, when a customer is given that kind of an experience at a premium value project, you think they'll bargain? They'll feel ashamed of themselves sometimes to ask for a lower price. They'll be like, wow, this is 5-star. When you're showing them the outdoor areas, the clubhouse area, you don't make them walk. You make sure there's an electric cart over there ready. Is this making sense? You got to define what's the experience you want to give people in terms of what you want them to understand, what you want them to think, what you want them to feel. So list the touch points, design the scripts, define the customer experience goal. And then as you're defining the customer experience goal, you also need to define the objective of the business. Based on the customer experience goal of what they should understand, what they should think, what they should feel, you need to have a business objective. What action should the customer take? What result should the action generate from the business? What are the metrics to measure the effectiveness of this action? You need to even have a business objective. If we are making them take this experience, what will they do in return? When they think, when they feel, when they understand certain things, what will they do in return? What action should they take? What result should that generate for the business? What is the metrics to measure the effectiveness of that action? Now, can I give this to you as a practical example of a retail store client of mine? Can I give you an example? Would you like to learn an example? Yes, no, not interested. Okay, only Anjali interested. Anjali, let's connect offline. Okay, rest of you are interested. Good. Or you're probably writing notes. So that's why the delay in the yes. Okay, I'll give you an example. Okay, watch. One of my clients, he runs a home furnishing store. What is home furnishing? They sell cushion covers, they sell drapes, they sell curtains, they sell wallpapers, they sell rugs. Okay, home furnishing. Now here's what happens. They have a customer management experience. After the customer buys, okay, and places an order, say they place an order for a drape or a curtain. Okay, they place an order for a drape or a curtain. Then here's what they do. Okay, they take the measurement of the window size of the customer's home. And then after that, they give a timeline saying, sir, madam, our person will come and install the drapes on so-and-so date at your home. Now watch. We've designed a customer management process even for the carpenter and the tailor who are going to go install this curtain in the customer's home. Now, technically, a carpenter and a tailor are blue collar staff. Yes or no? And that's a very big challenge for a lot of businesses where they have blue collar staff to create a positive customer experience. How many of you have blue collar staff members, and when the customer interacts with them, they come back with complaints saying, your person did this, your person did that, right? It's a very common practice. Now, here's what we did. We trained that blue collar staff on saying, listen, when you reach the customer's home, step number 1, ring the bell once and wait for at least 2 minutes. Because you know, the habit of the blue collar guys, when they ring the bell, not one ring. They go, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. And they look at each other and say, Gajab, maja aa gaya. Yeah. Now, for the customer, that's an unpleasant experience. The customer opens the door with unpleasant face expression saying, who's it? What is this regarding? Right? So we've trained them. Step number 1, ring the bell once, wait for 2 minutes. Now, when you ring the bell once and you wait for 2 minutes, is the customer's experience pleasant, neutral, or unpleasant? Tell me in the chat box. Pleasant, neutral, or unpleasant? It's neutral. It's neutral. Nothing extraordinary. It's not extraordinary. It's not like the customer's going to go like, wow, who ring the bell only once? It's only neutral. It's definitely not unpleasant, right? It's neutral. Now, we've also trained the staff that when the customer comes at the door and they open the door, firstly, you go wearing the t-shirt of the store where the branding of the store is there. Second, you go with the delivery slip, which has the branding of the store as well. And the bag in which you're carrying the curtain and the other kit to install your carpentry tools is also having the branding of the store. Now, when you have the branding of the store, for the customer, it's clear, oh, they've come from this store. Now, in comparison to a traditional carpenter and a tailor going to install a curtain, here's what happens. First, they go ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. Customer comes, unpleasant experience, opens the door saying, who's this? Kaun chahiye aapko? And this person says, carpenter. And they walk through the customer as though the customer is invisible. And the customer is like, hey, bahar khado, stand outside. Kahan se hai? Kaun bheja? And that carpenter says, madam ne bheja. Now, which madam? हमको नाम नहीं पता, मैडम ने भेजा. Now watch. That customer is like, which madam? My house is going through renovation. There are so many vendors coming in. I need to know who are you before I let you in. Right? This person's clueless. Then that customer says, call your madam. He opens the phone. Balance nahi hai. Now the customer is getting frustrated, saying, what? Am I supposed to do a security check over here? Then the customer says, give number. You call. Hello? Oh, Geeta, they're coming from your store. They didn't even tell me your store name. Now, through all this, is the customer's experience pleasant, neutral, or unpleasant? It's unpleasant. Right? It's unpleasant. But here, for my client, what are we doing? We're saying, ring the bell once, wear the t-shirt of the store, carry bags which have the branding of the store, carry the delivery slip so the customer knows. And after the customer sees that, you ask the customer, andar aa sakte hain? Ya may I come in? Or in Kannada, Valgade barboda? Whichever language, ask the customer before entering. Now, when they enter, now, any other carpenter or tailor going to install, they'll ask the customer where to install the curtain. Customer will show the window. Then what do these people do? They'll just remove their drilling machine, first drill to put the pipe for the curtain to be installed. And when they're drilling, there's dust falling. And if there's furniture below the dust, what's the customer's experience? Unpleasant. Because they're like, hello, there's a sofa there. There's dust falling. And what do the carpenters do? They say, okay, 1 minute. And then they screech the sofa on the floor and there's a now new design on the granite. There's a line. Customer like, hello, ye kya kiya tumne? Unpleasant. Right? But what is our staff doing? They're going there. They're asking the customer, which wall, where do we need to install the curtain? Customer shows a window. Then they see, is there any piece of furniture below? If there's a piece of furniture, then they'll ask the customer, isko hata sakte hain, madam? Can we move this? That lady says yes. Then two people carry it. They don't screech it. They carry it, move it on the side. And then from their kit bag, they remove a cover, a large cover to cover the sofa. Now, when they're putting a big cover to cover the sofa, and that lady's like, why are you doing this? Hey, madam, wo drilling karenge to dust hoga to is pe girega, to ye cover rahega, to sofa ganda nahi hoga. Now, how many of you realize that creates such a pleasant experience for the customer? Yes or no? They're like, wow, this person's so conscious. This person's so aware. And then after that, before they drill, they put a waste mat below. Now the lady asks, what is this mat for? Hey, madam, wo drilling karenge to kachra waste mat mein girega. She's impressed. She's like, wow, amazing. They drill the hole for the curtain pipe. The dust falls, they collect it in that waste mat. And then they ask the customer, madam, dustbin. The customer is like, why dustbin? No, I'll put this in the dustbin. The customer is so impressed. They go inside. They don't bring dustbin. They bring 2 glasses of water in the tray for the carpenter and the tailor, saying, lo bhaiya, pani piyo. Because the customer's blown now. And then after that, they ask the customer, madam, plug point hai? Says, for what plug point? Nahi, madam, ye drape ko istri karna hai. And they've got a steam iron. They are opening the box of the drape. Now the drape has little creases. They are doing the steam iron. The customer is looking at the steam ironing and saying, wow, this is amazing. And that customer asks the customer, andar dusre kapde hai, laun kya? Customer's going crazy. They're sitting and doing the steam iron, ironing out the creases. Then they install the curtain. And then they open and close the curtain. They show the demonstration to the customer. Customer's happy. And then when the customer's happy with the installation, here's what they do. They put their hand in the bag and they remove a perfume bottle. And they spray perfume on the drapes. And they take a lemon flavored organic mosquito repellent and put it at the bottom of the curtain. The lady's like, why are you putting this? Like, no, madam, you'll put the sofa, then there'll be dust. There can be mosquitoes. We put a lemon flavor organic mosquito repellent so that you get good smell. And this perfume is for good smell. That lady is thinking, my husband doesn't put perfume on me. These guys are putting perfume on the drapes and curtains. Ladies and gentlemen, are you seeing simple practices to take your customer experience to a whole new level? By the time the lady says goodbye, she's emotional. She's like, aate rehna bhaiya. Because she's blown. Now this is what the business wanted the customer to think and feel. The business wanted the customer to think and feel blown. Now, as a result of the customer being blown, what is the business objective? Here's a predictable action. The moment the carpenter and the tailor leave, this lady will first call her husband and say, hello, you know what happened? Now that husband is used to receiving these calls during renovation of the home when there's a problem. So the husband is wondering, what's the problem? He's like, huh, ma, what happened? You know, that Amita exclusive store people had come to install the curtain. He said, then you know what happened? He put a mat on the floor. Then he collected all the dust on the mat. Then he put it in the dustbin. Then they put perfume. Then they ironed. He said, then. She's like, what? Then. I'm telling you what all they did. So nice, no? He's like, oh, now he realizes there is no problem. Like, you're happy? No. That's a standard question of a husband to a wife. You're happy? No. Yeah, I'm happy. Oh, you are happy? I'm happy. Does she stop at that? She calls her mother. She calls her mother-in-law. She calls her sister-in-law. She calls her friends. They put perfume. And then she tells her friends, they put perfume. They're like, which store is this? That Amita exclusives in HSR layer. Oh, give their contact. No, even I want to get some new curtains done for my home this Diwali. Are you seeing? It's predictable human behavior that if this carpenter and this tailor are installing the curtain with those steps, it's predictable human behavior that they'll become raving fans and go tell other people about it and eventually generate referrals for the business. Is this making sense? It's meeting the business objective as well. So Amita exclusive tracks, how many referrals are we generating from each client? And it doesn't stop at that. Then on a Thursday, then after 4 or 5 days of the installation, from the store, a call goes out to the same customer saying, hello, madam, I'm calling from Amita Exclusives. Immediately the customer responds, oh, Amita Exclusives. You know that there's a positive customer experience. I say, madam, wanted your feedback. How was your experience of working with us? Oh, it was amazing. Your carpenter and your tailor was so courteous, such nice people. Last 8 months, we've been renovating this house with vendors coming in. I've been so harassed and so harrowed, but your carpenter and tailor was so extraordinary. Such nice people you have. We are very happy to work with you. They're collecting a testimonial. Then they ask the customer, madam, just one thing. We have a blog site of our own where we take a photo shoot of our customers' homes and we publish it on our blog site. So madam wanted to check, would you be open to us doing a photo shoot of your home and featuring it on our online channel? Now for the customer, that's amazing because they've renovated their home. They're getting some good visibility. They say, yeah. Say, madam, can I send 2 photographers on Thursday to do a photo shoot of your home? That customer's excited. On Thursday morning, that house is looking clean, like Diwali cleaning is just done. The husband wakes up and he's like, how is the house so clean? Like today they're coming for photo shoot. They're going to feature our home in their blog site. Now 2 photographers go. Who's the 2 photographers? It's the store, the sales people at the store. The store people, the store owners have invested in a 5,000 rupee photography workshop for these 2 people in the store. Weekday, anyway, they are free during the lunchtime, during the daytime, not much footfall. These 2 people go to the customer site, wherever installation has happened. They take pictures. Now, when they're taking pictures, customer is also posing over there. Then they say, madam, can we do a small video testimonial? Now they record a video of what was your experience of working with Amita Exclusives. They put all this on their blog site. They share a link of this video and as well as of this photo shoot of the home. What does a customer do? Predictable behavior. The customer forwards this link to all their WhatsApp groups and says, hey guys, we recently renovated our home and we got featured in this online digital channel called that'swhereilive.com. So happy that our efforts of building a beautiful home is getting recognized. Ladies and gentlemen, when the customer is sitting and spreading these links, who's getting visibility? The store is getting visibility. And if you actually apply your mind, you will realize this doesn't cost anything. 1 perfume bottle will run for 1 year. 1 steam iron you can own as a business. 1 Canon camera of 5,800 rupees and a workshop of 5,000 rupees for your team. And it's a game changer. The amount of visibility, the amount of branding, the amount of reaching, the amount of bragging rights, the amount of referrals you get is mind-blowing. You're meeting business objective. How many of you are getting some ideas? If you're getting some ideas saying, I need to detail this out for my business, type out ideas in the chat box. Break down the customer management journey right from awareness to loyalty. And then divide the responsibilities to different departments. The next step is to divide responsibility. Which department is responsible for which activity under each stage? What is the goal to be achieved by each department in the metrics defined? So installation is the operations department. The tailor and the carpenter have to go and do this installation and operations experience. Customer feedback and capturing pictures of the customer and getting testimonial from the customer is of the sales department in the store. So you divide the responsibility and map the process and give clear roles to people saying, you do this, then they'll do this, then you'll do this, then they'll do this. And finally, you integrate technology wherever required. You ask yourself, okay, what tools can we use for automation in order to capture data, in order to measure the process compliance, in order to track effectiveness, in order to review goals, in order to identify gaps, in order to create corrective actions? Where else can we use tools and technology? You don't need some complex softwares. You need simple tools that you can use. WhatsApp is a tool. Today, how many of you use WhatsApp in your business? It's a tool. That's also technology, no? Technology does not mean that you have to hire an IT company and get them to build custom softwares for you. Wherever you feel relevant in the customer interaction process, have automated emails, have chatbots on your website. All of this is a part of customer engagement. Have chatbots on your social media pages. Have a digital feedback form where the customer can give feedback. So those are the steps of designing a customer management system. List the customer touch points. What will the customer see, hear, smell, touch, taste? Define the script, which is the communication. Define the customer's experience goal in terms of what you want them to understand, think, and feel. Define your business objective. What should the customer do? What action should they take? And what result should that action give them? What is the metrics to measure the effectiveness of that action? Divide the responsibility across various departments which are interacting with customers, and integrate tools and technology wherever required to make it efficient. That's how you design a customer management process. Clear, everybody? How many of you have learned a lot today? If you've learned a lot today, type out a lot in the chat box. If you've got a lot of ideas, type out a lot in the chat box. Awesome. Now I'm going to give you one advice. While I've given you how to design a customer management system, here's my advice for all of you. Never do it all by yourself. The biggest mistake you can make is open your laptop and start designing a process all by yourself. Educate your team on these steps and involve your teams in co-creation of the customer management process. Let them be involved in the creation so that they have ownership. Only if you create, they will not have ownership. Educate, facilitate a co-creation. Let them be involved. Share these stories with them. Let them think of ideas because they are more on the ground managing and interacting with customers. Yes or no? No, one of the worst habits of business owners is sit and do everything by themselves. When you sit and do everything by yourself, two things happen. Number one, you never complete it. Number two, only you know it, nobody else knows it. That's why it never gets done. So educate your teams, facilitate a co-creation. Useful? Yes. So now, some of you have been asking for notes, presentation. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a link in the chat box. You can enter your details and receive a copy of the sketch notes, okay, of today's training, bit.ly/, give me a moment, Customer Management Mastery Webinar, CMM-RT. So you can click on this link, enter your details, and you will receive a sketch note. My team has designed some sketch notes in a PDF format. You will receive those sketch notes in the next 1 hour in your email, provided you enter your details here. So do that and get the download of the sketch notes within the next 1 hour in your email. Please don't put your email ID here. Please click on that link and enter your name, enter your email ID. You'll receive it in your email ID in the next 1 hour. Is that fair, everybody? Can you do that? Okay. Now, we are not yet done with you. We have 11 more minutes. So here's what we are going to be doing next. Before we go into the question answer session and answer your questions, today we have a very, very, very special feature speaker with us. Now, this feature speaker is a business owner who's been identified by the ET Now and Tally team, who has achieved significant success in their own business. Now, you've learned what you've learned today from me as a coach, as a facilitator, as an entrepreneur. But would you also like to get another perspective from an actual entrepreneur who's mastered the art of customer management? How many of you like that? Yes. So listen to this carefully. I'm going to introduce our feature speaker for today. Our MSME feature speaker for today is Mr. Alok Saraswat, who's the CEO of Kanch Products Private Limited. Kanch Products Private Limited is a business based out of Haridwar in Uttarakhand. They were formerly known or named as Padma Services, and they are in the business of manufacturing cosmetics like talcum powders, hand wash, sanitizers, body washes, lotions under the name of Kanch Products. They also manufacture Ayurvedic tablets, capsules, granules, churans, syrups, oils under the same brand name of Kanch Products. They also are in the business of food processing of tablets, capsules, syrups, ghee, honey under the brand name of Pundarik. And they are in the process of setting up Kanch Care for their drug and pharma related business, where they'll be creating syrups, antiseptic liquids, tablets, and capsules. Now, some of the key brands that they manufacture that some of you may know are Navratna Cool Talc, Nycil Prickly Heel Talc, Park Avenue Deodorant Talcum, and Premium Hand Wash, and many more such brands. They do a production volume of 80 million units in a year. How many of you think that's massive? And while you're producing 80 million units in a year, the kind of customer expectations you have to manage is going to be astronomically high. So, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me immense pleasure to introduce Mr. Alok Saraswat, the CEO of Kanch Products. Can we give a big round of applause to Mr. Alok Saraswat by typing out welcome in the chat box? Can we all type welcome in the chat box? Welcome, Mr. Alok. Welcome to the Mera Business Meri Pehchaan Masterclass.
Thank you. Thank you for the welcome and introduction, please.
So, Mr. Alok, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions from a business perspective on today's topic. So, firstly, if you can share with our audience today, who is your typical target customer and what are the challenges you have faced in customer management through your journey? If you could share that in the first part, then we could go on to the second part of understanding how you overcame those challenges. So, over to you, Mr. Alok.
See, 98% of our business has been B2B business.
Yep.
Anybody who wants to get products manufactured in cosmetic, Ayurvedic, or food brand, who wants to get the product manufactured, they are our target customers. So all the big MNCs have been our customers. Even we don't say no to small quantities. So even the small brands, new brands who are new startups, they are also our target customers.
Nice. And in this journey of managing MNCs as well as startups, what are the typical challenges that you have seen in customer management as a business?
The customer expectation from each and every customer is different.
Yeah.
While the new startup always wants to go that we should get the best, but they would be going for the lower price ranges.
Yeah.
मैंने सुना है कि वो तो इस दाम में आप कर सकते हैं, तो वो क्यों नहीं करके दे देते मेरे को आप?
Yeah.
But then they would be targeting, like I should not be naming the brands.
Yeah.
आप कीको जैसा ब्रांड का पाउडर दे दीजिए, लेकिन
प्राइस कम
कैसे होगा?
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things that come by. The customer expectation is the main challenge.
Okay. How many of you, I just want to ask the audience here, how many of you face a challenge with customer expectation management? Like, you know, there's a saying in business, logo ko Mercedes chahiye Maruti ke daam par, right? So yeah, quite a few. So it's a very relatable challenge. So I'd like to understand from you, Mr. Alok, how do you overcome these challenges? How do you counter these challenges and create a great customer experience?
See, normally what happens is in every company, they try to create a customer service department handling everything.
Yeah.
With us, we did not do that. I am the one who will be handling the customers directly.
Yeah.
So from top to bottom, everybody is aligned.
Yeah.
And the complete team is flexible, approachable, and helpful.
Okay.
You have a problem, you can speak to anybody of the team.
Yeah.
They will bring up the matter. They will get the solution that very day.
So there's
it might take some time to implement it, but then the solution has to be visible to the customer on that very day.
So there's a clear philosophy of flexibility, approachability, and being helpful, and a clear timeline ki usi din ko solution dena. You're not going to keep the customer waiting. The implementation may take time, but the clarity is important.
Yes. And the customer must know कि हाँ मेरी ये प्रॉब्लम को इस तरीके से इन्होंने सॉल्व किया है.
Awesome, wonderful. And any other best practices that you feel have helped your business stand out and create such a significant market share in the space that you are in?
Basically, our flexibility has helped us a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
And then our cost, because of the volumes that we have garnered.
Yeah.
We believe दाम कम रखो, कम कमाओ, volumes आएंगे.
Yeah. So there's this clarity of strategy. And I think that's an important point for a lot of businesses here, that look, if you're doing a high volume business at a low price point, that is still profitable. But if you're doing a low volume business at a low price point, that's when it is painful. And a lot of businesses don't understand it. They don't leverage volumes enough. They get stuck at a low volume game and they wonder, why am I not making enough money? So Mr. Alok, another parallel question that I'd like to ask over here is this, that you spoke about flexibility. You also spoke about cost competitiveness. Now, for a lot of businesses, it's very difficult to manage both these. Flexible reh ke bhi cost kaise manage kare? How do you manage that situation?
See, in our trend of business, like when we do it, ours is a seasonal product.
Yeah.
Main product is talcum. Then the second product is hand wash or the Ayurvedic tablets. All of them are seasonal products. Or we are also into Sharbat now. That is also a seasonal product.
Yeah.
So what we decide is the cost once frozen with the customer. We keep it to that.
Okay.
The ups, downs, costings going up, down, everything. We need to be open with each other. The customer needs to know everything.
Okay.
We discuss things out.
Yeah.
If the customer is comfortable in increasing the cost immediately, fair enough.
Yeah.
If not, we give them the time.
Yeah. So
you understand the difficulties that we are facing and we are open.
Yeah. And I think that's a very important thing in the nature of business you are in, where you take a partnership approach rather than a vendor approach.
Yes.
Saying, look, we are your extended arm. If we don't give you a good quality product, the product's going on under your brand name. So we want to give you the best product, but you got to be a partner for us in the business. We are not your vendors. You are not our customer. We both are partners. So that collaborative approach, I think, is a very critical.
One more example, the customer complaints in the B2C format. The brand owners are the actual owners of the brand. So they are doing the marketing. The customer complaint can come from any corner and it comes to the brand owners, not to us. But still, we go one step forward. If any of our customer receives even one complaint, we always ask them, please forward it to us. We will give the reply. We will make the responses. We will do the study. Why is it that the customer complaint has arisen? We will make sure that this does not happen in future. Point number one, we know what is our fault. We also know if there is no fault of ours and the customer has still a problem. So we can approach them that way. And we make the brand owners approach the customer in that way.
Awesome. So I think one lesson everybody can take away today from what you're sharing, Mr. Alok, is that you take a very collaborative, deeper approach where you and your customer don't have this divide of customer supplier, but you and your customer have a deeper connection of a partner approach. And naturally the dependency on each other then will be high. And then the freedom to ask, the freedom to demand, the freeness to share whatever challenges are on either ways is a lot more seamless, and it's a lot more effortless rather than having the stress of, oh, can we say this to our client? Or what if we go back to the client with this change? Will they be okay with it? I think it clearly comes across with what you're sharing, that you have a free flow and a free communication with your customer saying, साथ में करेंगे, दोनों का business है, दोनों साथ में ऊपर जाएंगे in terms of growth. Awesome.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mr. Alok, for sharing your insights. Ladies and gentlemen, what was your one lesson from Mr. Alok's sharing of how they practically manage their customer relationships? Type out for me in the chat box. Type out for me in the chat box. What is one key takeaway for you from this example or from this sharing? Collaborative efforts, collaborative approach, a one-to-one response, be a partner rather than keeping it transactional. Okay. Transparency with customers, make sure there is clear value for money. Okay. Make it a team approach with the customer, take responsibility, go the extra mile. Wonderful. So Mr. Alok, thank you so much for adding value, because you can see in the chat box, people are sharing their lessons and insights. Now, before we close today, are there any questions that any of you have? I have one last announcement before we close today. Are there any questions that any of you have around the topic of customer management? We're talking customer management. Don't go into cash flow management today. Are there any questions? Okay. No questions. So was today a day of value? Suresh says, amazing session. Kajal says, how do you manage adamant clients? So Kajal, let me give you an understanding. There are 4 types of customers any business can have. There's an amazing customer who's amazing to work with. There's a breadwinning customer who may not be as amazing as the amazing, but they help you earn good amount of money. That's a breadwinning customer. Then there's a convenience customer. A convenience customer is someone who works with you only if it is convenient for them. Typically a very price conscious customer. And then comes a 4th customer, which is called a dangerous customer. A dangerous customer is the kind of customer who you regret doing business with because they suck your blood. So when you are talking about managing an adamant customer, what sense I get is that you're typically talking about a dangerous customer. Here's what you do with dangerous customers. You stop working with dangerous customers. Now, when can you stop working with dangerous customers? You can stop working with dangerous customers if you have a proactive system of marketing and selling and adding new amazing and breadwinning customers. A lot of times I've seen business owners feel stuck with a particular customer, even though they don't like working with that customer, only because they're not marketing and selling proactively. So Kajal, market and sell proactively, add more amazing and breadwinning customers so you can get rid of and say no to the dangerous customers without any fear. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, okay, any tips for organic ways of customer management as opposed to paid campaigns and freebies? Well, you can also create organic educational content, Nixon. You don't have to do paid marketing. You can build YouTube channels where you are creating content around your industry and increasing your following. So even organic content done consistently gives you good reach. The keyword there is consistently. Most people don't do it consistently. MSMEs get bullied by giant customers. Any tips on handling that? Well, Archana, if you're bullied by a particular customer, it only means you are bullied by them because you are only dependent on them. If they are your only customers, you lose bargaining power in price and in payment terms. That's why proactive marketing and selling helps you have a healthy pipeline of leads. When you have a healthy pipeline of leads, you can choose the customers you will work with. So make sure that you take care of that aspect. Credit period negotiations. Pradeep, we spoke about that in last week's episode. So if you'd like to know more about last week's episode, then you can go on mbmp.in, Mera Business Meri Pehchaan, mbmp.in, and you will find details about last week's episode. Also, ladies and gentlemen, we are not yet done with Mera Business Meri Pehchaan. Next week is the grand finale episode of this initiative created by Tally, partnered by ET Now. Next week on the 30th of June, Thursday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. I want all of you to block your calendars. Okay. 30th of June, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. We're going to talk about competition management. How many of you would like to learn how to manage your competition, how to deal with competition? So mark your calendar. 30th of June, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. We're going to look at dealing with competition, where we're going to do a masterclass and break down for you how do you handle the competition. 30th of June. It's on the 30th of June. So make sure you block your calendar for that. It's a Thursday. Now, if you'd like to stay in touch with me, and if you have any, how do you log in for that? Well, you log in for that by registering on mbmp.in, Mera Business Meri Pehchaan.in. We put the link over there. Just copy paste that link on your browser, open it, register yourself for next week's masterclass. And also, if you'd like to stay in touch with me, all I would say is this simple: just connect with me on any of these platforms. You could connect with me on rajivtalreja.com by subscribing to my mail list, or you could connect with me on LinkedIn by searching for Rajiv Talreja, or on YouTube, you can subscribe my YouTube channel, Rajiv Talreja D. And you could also connect with me on Instagram and chat with me. I respond to messages every 48 to 72 hours. So stay connected, everybody. I look forward to seeing you in next week's masterclass of Mera Business Meri Pehchaan, presented by Tally, partnered by ET Now, and delivered by me, Rajiv Talreja. If you found value today, go out there and also tell your friends who are entrepreneurs to attend next week's masterclass by just registering for free on mbmp.in. See you, everybody. Thank you so much. See you next week.